Yo, good morning. Welcome to Coffee Talk, July 4th edition. It's Guido coming from the left side of the Atlantic.
And it's Pilgrim coming from the correct side of the Atlantic with the full American kit. Baseball cap, the Canadian mug, so North America, Canada, although I do have a Guido mug with my tea in it as well. So there's coffee in there, coffee for you lot.
Excellent.
And something for you colonials. Here we go. Gets better.
Oh, there we go. It's the flag. We've lost it.
I do. Is it not working? There's more to come.
The sound activator isn't working. There, okay. Oh my goodness gracious. Alright. Oh.
You see, also, you've got Canada. Did you hear that one?
Oh, I was not briefed. There was two. We're losing it. It keeps cutting out on us.
How do I lose it?
Oh man. This is what happens when I leave this stuff to a British guy.
Sorry, you've got to go.
It just keeps cutting out because your sound.
There we go. Well, at least that's right. Right, boom, mic back on. Hang on.
Oh. All right. So, what happened there? Actually, I don't know what the hell just happened there, but what I think just happened there is Pilgrim was using his British mic to attempt to send that over the interweb, which is part of the reason why we kicked them out of the country. Cliffy, David Carlsmar, thank you very much for the subs. Much appreciated. Pilgrim also resubbed 8 minutes ago. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
So he had to, in true old guy tech fashion, he had to use your camera mic, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's using his camera mic and he's playing it on his iPad. I'm assuming that was an iPad, or is that a Chinese knockoff?
No, it's a genuine. Oh, look at advertising.
Oh, yeah.
But it's broken. The home button doesn't work.
You know there is a way for you to send audio over. Never mind. We'll talk about that later.
This is because we spent 5 minutes before doing all this to get it ready.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oh dear.
That was awesome.
Well, I tried.
That was awesome. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I hope you guys got your coffee. Thanks, Wayne. Number one coffee talk in this time slot, whatever this time slot is. Happy 4th of July. Is it Canadian Independence Day? What is the Canadian Day called?
Well, they're not quite independent, are they? But we'll go with that. They think they are, but they're not really.
I'm not sure what it is. I should know this. They're our hat.
It was the other day. I think it was Friday was their day, possibly.
Yeah, they are America's hat, so that's awesome. No, here's to my Canadian friends. Cheers to you guys as well. The untroublesome neighbor. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, The one that gives you no trouble whatsoever and never borrows your lawnmower and never returns it.
There should be some introspection on the fact that Canadians are not piling across the border.
We need a wall, said Wayne.
There does not seem to be a long queue of Canadians attempting to get into America. That should tell us something.
But, possibly. But I do like the fact that the line, the border line, goes through various libraries and pubs and stuff.
Yeah.
So you can stand on one side of the library and you actually need a passport to get across the other
And nobody
side.
cares. Nobody cares.
Who cares? You've just walked across the state line or whatever it is.
Awesome. All right, guys, welcome to Coffee Talk. Hope everybody's having a good one. We're planning on a barbecue. I was just telling Pilgrim that I got my party light posts up, and I was discussing my critical engineering error of a washout problem that I have to fix. I think I have a fix now, thanks to Pilgrim's help. It's going to require more digging and more mixing of concrete, which is going to suck, but there you go.
We were discussing whether Guido got the look from his house general. You know that look that house generals have when you do a job, it fails, and she looks at you as if to say, "You're no good at nothing, are you? You're no good at everything you touch."
You're worthless. You're worthless stuff. I will say the posts. So here's the story about the post. I have the hole digger, right? The mechanical one that you go like that and you spread out and you pull little.
That's cool. Yeah.
So I'm digging that. And it's easy to dig here because it's all sand.
Right.
But you do get past. There's probably about 2 feet of sand, and then we get into some darker earth, and you maybe get about 6 inches into that, up to a foot at the most. So I would have made about a 3-foot hole. But once you get there, you hit the water table.
I was going to say, how low is the water table?
Yeah. I mean, it's only 3 feet below us, and that's just started kind of gurgling up in water. So there was no sense going past that. Because I was throwing dry concrete and mixing it in the hole. Yeah. So I just started chucking it in there and had the garden hose, just a little bit of water because it was already getting some. And if you shake the pole around, it mixes it up pretty nicely, actually.
Yeah.
So I've got those, and they're 4x6s. I was going to do 6x6s, which are really just honking posts.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit worried I knew the 4x4s would look flimsy and chintzy, so I didn't go with the 4x4s. The 6x6s weighed 6 billion tons.
Yeah.
And they're treated, so they're infused with the chemicals that you probably don't want to get all over you, but whatever. And so I went to 4x6s, and I was pleased. They look good. They look solid. They look,
Yeah, it's about right 4x6 anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not an industrial size, is it?
Right. So got those in. They're nice and solid. That's good. I'm going to hang the lights today, provided it ever stops raining for 10 minutes. So there you go.
Yeah, I feel your pain. We've had rain for a couple of days now, and we've got it due for the next 3 or 4 days, and then it's going to be a heat wave starting Friday, which is when I'm on vacation. I go to the coast on Friday and hire myself a little skiff, a little skiff, and get a rod and just go and fish me some supper. And
what do you mean, like out in the Atlantic?
Oh yeah. Well, it's actually the other side, but we'll go with that because I'm on the east coast.
Oh, you're on the east coast.
Yeah. So it's facing the French.
So in the channel.
That lot. Yeah. Just up from the channel. Yeah.
How far out do you go? What do you do? Just launch from the beach, or is there a little?
No, there's a little pier, and the thing is, because chroma crab is worldwide famous. Apart from in the States, you've never heard of it, but chroma crab is pretty much a delicacy, and it's top notch, and they're licensed to fish the crab, so you can't touch those fishing grounds. So you have to go further out. But I'm only after flatfish. I'll get some flatfish and maybe a mackerel or something like that. And then the beach at Cromer is pebble. It's not sand. So just stick a little barbecue up and just do my fish and buy some chips from the local chippy. And we'll have some home caught fish and chips.
Wayne has my question. You say flatfish. Is it a kind of flounder?
Yeah, like flounders, like any flatties that have their eyes on the top of their
Yeah,
head.
very flaky, very flaky and tender.
Yeah,
and a mild, really mild taste. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Nice. So you can get them on the barbie, and they do quite well. All you've got to do is gut them and skin them, and
Yeah.
on the barbie it goes. Or even with the skin on. In fact, you leave the skin on and do the whole fish once you've gutted it,
Yeah.
and then you just pick at it, and you've got your little bag of chips with your salt and vinegar, and nice old barbie.
There you go, man.
Barbie on the beach. There we are. I'll take
Yeah, but your beach
photographs.
has rocks. You said.
Yeah, but it's a rocky beach. It's a pebble beach. You can't build sandcastles with it.
Can you build a rock wall?
Yeah.
Could you
can
build
a wall.
could you build a rock wall that would keep the sand from washing out under your pavers like a Muppet?
Well, that would be a good idea,
You
wouldn't
could,
it?
yeah. That'd be a good idea. That would work out. All right, channel news, guys. Let's see. I finished the WZ-131 GFT or whatever, the little tier 6. Man, that was a miserable little thing.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
It looks like the bigger Chinese TDs, but doesn't really. I
Doesn't
don't
do
know.
what it says on the tin, does it?
The gun hits hard, 240 or something like that for tier 6, but whew, me and casemates, we don't get along. I'm just not a bushwanker, you know what I mean?
I was about to say,
Yeah.
I quite like casemates, but I'll just take that back now.
I just don't have any patience for that, but clearly other people do. You know what's funny about it is I did pretty well. Let's look at it actually anyway, so I can. Is this humble brag? Yeah, this is humble brag.
Humble brag.
Even though it's not really a brag because I didn't really do that well. Where the hell? What am I looking for? Service
Okay.
record.
No, Wayne, that's completely wrong. That
What's that?
he's answered the competition already.
Oh, he's got it. So if we go into here, and I have to do this twice. Does everyone else have this same thing happen? Mine's gone. No, only once this time. All right.
Oh.
So if we go to this guy, and I'm 11 short anyway of getting into the monthly ranking, but my score is 5,119, which would put me, provided I held on to that, which maybe I don't, but at 8th this month. But look at the win rate, 42%.
Yeah, well, that says everything, doesn't it? It says that the tank A is not played that much. Do you know what I mean? So to get to 8th is an achievement, but it's not overplayed, is it, that particular tank?
Well, what's weird is I feel like I don't sit back and camp. So having a 42%, it may be a case of just I get out and get my damage and then get dead, and I don't end up
Possibly.
being a factor to the end of the game. So perhaps there's a bit more campiness required because these guys are all doing fine. 68%, 70%.
Yeah.
All these are 60s.
What's the battle count, though?
Huh?
What's the battle count? You can have a win rate of 60% with 5 battles.
They're all 30 or more. You have to have 30 to get in
Is it?
here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so who knows what it is? I don't think it actually
Yeah.
shows how many they did. It doesn't. And I don't have enough to hit 30, so maybe I do a little better and get it to 50. But as of right now, 42% and 5,100, it's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. Very strange. Let's see what else we got.
Strange tanks. There you go. And
It's-
you're not a casemate player. Bushwanker.
I don't know. I feel like I can. I just get bored sitting back there.
The image of somebody sitting in a bush doing that particular act is quite disturbing, to be honest. Sorry, we've got plenty of bushes around here. I'm going to get scared walking to the shop now.
Yeah, you have to throw a pebble into it just to make sure somebody doesn't yell.
What's in there?
Yeah, ooh.
Oh yeah.
All right. Next next stream should be Monday, guys. We'll do the stack up as well. But I think tomorrow I should be getting some streaming in. That's my my next day off. I'm going on vacation on the 14th. Next week, the 11th, will be a coffee talk of some kind. I am looking for a partner in crime. I need Discord and a camera and a mic, obviously. So if anybody in attendance or who's might be listening to this replay would like to be a guest spot or a guest on Coffee Talk, let me know. So I'm going to cast that net out and see what I catch. Several different venues. I've got some other people potentially who we could get to come, but let me know if you're interested in doing Coffee Talk. Send me a note.
Already had a yes from Stickler.
Stickler wants to do it.
He said yes.
Right on. Send me a note,
I'm
man.
on there.
I don't know if that was before I said that. Either way, if anyone is interested, send me a note. That'd be cool.
Do they have to drink tea or do they have to drink coffee?
I don't care what they do.
Have you seen my mug? Have you seen that? Look.
What does it say? Granddad.
Yeah, look.
Nice.
I'll read it to you. It says, like Dad, only cooler. Best hugger. Can fix anything that Dad can't. And my hero. There you go. Cool cup.
That's kind of rough, actually.
Yeah, I know.
That's just bringing the atomic elbow down on Dad like 2 or 3 times. Yeah.
Dad, you useless. Phone
Yeah.
Granddad.
Yeah, it's not enough to just say, "Oh, I love Granddad." It's just like, dude.
Yeah.
Plus, Dad left 4 years ago.
Yeah. Scumbag. Yeah, Dad version 2.0.
Cliffy, if you want to, man, let me know. Yeah, send me a note, dude. Send me a note.
Oh, that'd be cool. That would be cool. Cliffy
All right.
has the knowledge.
He does,
he's got it
yeah.
all in
Oh,
there.
yeah, man.
He knows. You ask a question and there's Cliffy, he knows. He'll be
All right.
useful.
Careful.
Not saying nobody else will be useful, but Cliffy will be useful.
Careful, because I'll have a mug that, with the differences between Pilgrim and Cliffy on it.
Yeah, you will. With like a little bar chart with Pilgrim down here and Cliffy there.
All right, let's see. Yeah, that's coffee talk stuff. And then, so no coffee talk on the 18th and 25th, and we'll be back on the 1st of August, guys. So I'll have videos for those weeks while I'm gone. I'll be around. You may see me on Discord or whatever, because I'll have my laptop and stuff, and I may even play a few games up there, but I will not be as near as engaged as I am.
Way off to the mountain.
Yeah, off to the mountain, up to Utah.
Oh, back home, innit?
Yeah, I'm going to be sitting on my mountain porch, and I'm going to watch the mountains sit there.
Yeah, yeah. Like watching paint dry, but a bit more interesting.
Ooh, we got elk, deer, moose.
Cool.
There's even some cougar up there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't go wandering off in the middle of the night then?
No, I mean there's not a lot of them. I've not seen one. My parents have seen a couple.
You not hear them at night? You're not. Are they?
Well, they'll run down small children and eat them on occasion.
Just remind me when I come over to bring some with me to feed the cougar.
When I was a kid, terrifying Dr. Love, I did hunt. I haven't hunted in years. I haven't felt really the need. But when I was a kid in our early 20s, we hunted every year. So we hunted deer every year. I never hunted moose actually or elk. I just never went. But it was great. I really enjoyed it. But in my adult life, I haven't felt the need to go do it. So
I think the perception over here in the UK that it's a rite of passage for most Americans that have some involvement with the countryside is that you have to fish, hunt, and shoot at some point in your youth, whether you do it later on in life. It seems to be a rite of passage. That's how it seems.
That's kind of fair. I don't know if that's necessarily true anymore. It probably still is in the countryside. Yeah. I think that's a fair assessment without getting into like a negative aspect of it.
No. I think there's a right. Okay, we're not going to go down the road of vegetarianism and vegans and all the rest of it. But there is a place for it. We are a hunting animal, and that's the way it is.
Well,
the fact that it's
so the people that do that, in Alabama, Mississippi, anywhere really, because we have a lot of countryside. Good Lord, it's a big country. Nearly every state has, not nearly every state has some kind of countryside. I suppose maybe places like Delaware and a few of those might not have too much hunting areas, but you get into the mid part, the southern, mid, and west part of the country, it's great big huge open areas, and you have rural people, and I would say that they eat what they hunt.
Well, that's the point. I mean, I've hunted over here, pheasants and stuff like that, because you're only shooting what you're going to put on the kitchen table.
Sure.
You're not shooting stuff just for the sake of it. It's hunting to eat.
I mean,
you can go to the supermarket and buy it, but that's not the point.
You get you get people hunting, trophy hunters, but they typically come from somewhere else. And they're coming into
there's that, isn't there? And then you get the idiots that go to Africa to shoot lions. You know what I mean? Sorry. Anyway.
You don't really eat a lion, do you?
Well, probably not that tasty. Probably eat you.
He'd eat you. Yeah.
Yeah, lion pasties or lion pies.
I enjoyed it though. We take deer and then
Yeah.
hang them up, and then we'd butcher them ourselves. The first year we got a deer, my dad was just standard Eastern greenhorn. A friend of his had lived in Utah for all his life, so he took us up and taught us what to do and all that. First year he took it to a butcher, and it was easily some of the most awful meat I've ever tasted. I mean, we're pretty sure it wasn't our deer because we hung it right. The guy was, the guy taught my dad how to hunt and do all that stuff. He had it all down. He knew what to do. We hung it correctly. It didn't spoil. We did everything we had to do. Yeah. My dad took it to this guy, and oh my God, we threw away a good portion of it. It was just nasty.
Oh, that's mad, isn't it?
So we're pretty sure we didn't get our own deer. So the next year we butchered ourselves, and then for the next 10, 15 years that we hunted, we'd take the deer to the shop and we'd do the butcher ourselves. And the first couple times we did it, it took a really long time. But after about 3 or 4 years, we were really good at it. And then, that venison was amazing.
Isn't it just? When I ran Depot 90 ammunition depot in America, in Germany, in Sennelager, the local forestmeister used to control the deer. There's 2 herds in my depot, and he used to control those herds. And once a year, he would cull them, and I would get first choice. So he would drop the venison off at the office for me, which was quite nice. I must admit, he used to butcher it for us and everything. So cool.
Well, it needs to be managed. It has to be managed. Yeah, you can't.
Absolutely.
You can't just protect and let it turn into a bunch of. They're like rats at some point, to be quite honest.
No. The funny thing is about Depot 90 was that it was a German ammunition depot during the Second World War, and when they left, as they ran away, because you guys managed to get to Depot 90 before we did. As the Germans ran away, they exploded all the red phosphorus, and it went all over the into the grass, into the soil, and it was still there some 50 years later.
Oh, wow.
And there was parts of the depot that was actually barbed wired off. You couldn't go past because occasionally the red phos would seep to the surface and explode.
Oh,
you'd be walking past, and little puffs of red phosphorus going off.
Holy crap!
God, this is an ammo depot, and we used to store the J dams in there as well, the RAF J dams and everything. We used to store them in there. And I was a depot warrant officer. I was like, I just don't need this lot going bang because there's a village down the road with 10,000 Germans living there.
Holy cow!
Good fun. Anyway, sorry.
Randall, yes, you can watch the mountains while being in the mountains. I just watched the mountainside. The hummingbirds.
Very chilled way of taking a vacation, isn't it?
The hummingbirds, just the whole 9 yards. I'm trying to think of what's this? What are those?
Butterflies.
The little animals with the spikes on them. What the hell are they called?
Hedgehogs?
No, the big ones. Holy cow! This is how you know you're getting old.
Armadillos? I don't know.
Not hedgehogs. Yeah,
unicorns.
No.
Unicorns.
Oh my God! It'll come to me in a minute.
Porcupines.
Just around midnight says he's hunted all his life. Bow hunter gets several deer every year. Yeah, venison is a good roadkill. Somebody else had a question here.
We did get roadkill.
College reunion, high school. Oh, 50th year stickler. I have not been to any of my high school reunions. Not one. No, I was because I left after college, and I was either deployed or in the middle of something every time.
Yeah, I didn't do it. I left school before exams, before it actually finished. I walked out. I was had enough. I did my mocks.
Porcupine, that's it. You left or got kicked out? Be honest.
Yeah, well, yeah, right, yeah. Setting fire to the headmaster's hair while he's asleep in the armchair in the staff room.
Oh boy.
Didn't go down very well.
All right. Something I'm going to have to try to figure out. The podcast thing on Buzzsprout, I'm only really able to get two podcasts uploaded for free a month. So I've got to look at it. And then I was trying to figure out how, I'm like, all right, I'll just pay for it. And the problem is their cost per hour is ridiculous. If I was to put 4 coffee talks on there, it's like $75 a month or some crazy shit. I'm going to have to look at that, guys. I'm not sure what the plan is going to be on the podcast part. I would like to get an audio version out for you guys. One thing I didn't think about is maybe I can delete a past one and put the current one on. That's not ideal, but We'll see if they'll allow that. Probably not. I'm sure that's a workaround that they've thought of.
Or if you're allowed 2 a month free, just select 2 from the 4. Doesn't have to be everyone.
I could do every other one or something like that. What's funny is, remember we discussed this last week. I uploaded the 1, and then it said you only have like 12 minutes left or whatever, because it gives me 2 hours free, and the first one was an hour 40 something. And then I uploaded the second one, and it doesn't cut you off; it just takes it. It's like, okay, fine. And then it says, hey, you're over. Like, okay.
Right.
And then I went, well, maybe they'll just take all 3. And I tried to upload another one. I was like, no, you're over your limit. I'm like, okay, so until you're actually over your limit, I don't know.
You're free to do what you need to do, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
we'll see. I'll keep working on that, guys. And if anybody has any better suggestions, $75 a month is a little out of my league right now, just for putting a couple of podcasts up. But if I can figure a workaround, people got to make their money, so I get that. All right, let's get on to tanks. Should we talk about tanks or something?
We could do. Special says something that we're number 2 behind Joe Rogan, sorry, Josh Rogan. And
I might actually be number 2 behind Josh Rogan.
Josh Rogan,
whoever that guy is.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that.
Number 2,000,002 behind Joe Rogan, but Josh Rogan, we might be able to take him. He can. He's talking about the tulips. He's got tulip talk.
Yeah, he's a gardener.
Yeah. All right, let's shill. Should we shill?
We should shill.
Who wants to shill? Anybody want to shill down there? Let's do this thing. Let's see. I got to do that and that, and then someday I'm going to figure this thing out. Why it does this every time. But today is not that day. All right, today is not that day. There we go. All right, we got some stuff for sale actually. That's semi-interesting. Commence shilling. We have the Patriot and the Super Pershing, with the appropriate USA styles going on. So check that out. We have a Canadian outfit, which is paying for things to color your tanks with. You ever notice how we always talk about we don't want to buy overpowered vehicles and pay to win? And people always say, "Ooh, yeah, I would pay for styles and stuff like that," and yet nobody pays for those things. And we always make. I don't.
I think I don't do styles unless it's just for shits and giggles, to be honest.
But have you ever bought one?
Well, no. I mean, when you win them, for example, the Christmas styles that you get, I don't mind winning them, and I stick them on things like artillery. Do you know what I mean? But I won't pay for them.
That's my point. Everyone's up in arms about pay to win. Don't do it. Don't if you want to make money wargaming, then do cool styles and stuff. But what we're really saying is for other people to buy, but not me.
Yeah, but not me.
Yeah.
Not the 25,000 on the NA server.
Wargaming, you can make a lot of money by doing these cool styles.
Yeah.
Oh, do you want to buy one? No, not me. Other people will buy them.
Yeah, somebody else buy it. Sell them on the Russian server. That's fine. For 6 rubles or whatever.
Has anybody? Clearly, somebody buys them because they keep selling them. I think.
Well, yeah. But I mean, the price point is horrendous, isn't it? You know what I mean?
We've talked about that, especially when it gets to the 3D. The 3D stuff gets a little bit crazy. Yeah. Here's one down here I thought was interesting. This is $18, quite a discount actually. Plus you can use a coupon if you got one. But it's 25 XP, Crew XP, and Free XP. Now, unfortunately, there's not a credit one in there, but $18. If I look at that and I know I'm gonna have a week to play or something like that, and I'm going to get myself a week of premium, you could really increase your grind by grabbing that. It's only $18.
Right.
Now, would you want to do that every month for a year? Well, that would get expensive at that point. So the price point is still high, but it seems kind of reasonable-ish.
Well, yeah, it's a little collection of stuff that's useful.
Yeah.
On top of something that isn't. Is it one of those? That's the question. Is it one of those? Or not?
Maybe just a really short.
A really short one. Quick like that.
Yeah, that may be our first true blue light special, even though it was sort of a lame one.
It was lame, wasn't it?
But
Well, they are.
anyway, where were we?
Anyway,
I don't know.
are you in specials? Are you in vehicles?
I am
what
in.
are you in?
I am in featured, which
Right,
is
so
not to
yours
be,
is different to mine.
which is
Yeah,
not
yeah,
to be
yeah.
mistaken with specials.
No, it's totally
No,
different.
not at
Somehow.
all. And how come? Is it actually? Wow, because Pretty Fly is back, but it's not featured. All right, gold. Standard act, guys. Nothing really new here. Starter kit, blah blah blah. Premium account, same thing. You can use your coupon. Pretty Fly is back. The TL1 LPC. Speaking of 3D styles,
It is. It's a fair old whack of money, though, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. Now here you go. Here's a special for you. 360 days of premium and the Panzer II Aus J.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a special. Actually, for what it is, well, I wouldn't pay that much money for that, but the tank itself is a fairly solid tank at tier. But what's that in your money? $100? More?
Yeah, it's $100. It's $99.99.
Oh, no, not in. Well,
And you get
If it was
the
60
Minnie
days.
Mouse. Get the Minnie Mouse thing or whatever that is.
yeah.
Is the
I don't-
speaker a screen? That's a great question. I don't think so. But who the hell knows now? No, I don't think it's a hitbox. All
No,
all
it's
the
not a
3D
hitbox, is it?
stuff. No, I don't know any 3D feature that's actually a hitbox screen.
No. No.
You might say the
Or-
ROM Panzer, but it's part of the original model. It's not an extra 3D style that gets chucked on top.
But the question that was laid on us a couple of weeks ago was, does it come up as the part of the green silhouette? When you get the green silhouette highlighted, or well, the red silhouette, sorry, so you could fire at the enemy tank, does all the non-hitbox parts of the tank, the 3D stars, show up? Or does it just show the outline of the tank?
I think they do,
Right.
but I don't think you can use them to start the outline.
Right, okay. All right.
Because although I don't know that, I do know that they're not spottable. Like if the 3D thing is taller than your spotting point, say the IS-7 with the big massive gun or the mouse, you will not see that come over the hill first unless you're actually seeing the tank's
Tank itself,
spotting
right,
point.
okay.
And
Yeah,
it doesn't make your spotting point or your viewpoint higher.
No. Okay. Oh, that's a good thing.
Now, once it's actually spotted, can you actually highlight it by putting the cursor on the big gun thing? I don't know that.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
somebody in chat knows that.
Yeah, no, that's a good question.
But once you
because,
do highlight it, it will show you the shape of it.
Yeah. Well, it's like anything, isn't it? If you
Yeah.
can get on the highlight, you can see the shape of the tank, even though it's below cover. You can still see the shape of the tank, which is why you hit the dirt a lot. Sorry, had to get that in there. You think you're firing mid-center, and actually you're firing at the ground. I mean,
What?
it was on your video. I watched it. I went, yeah. That.
Why
tank's
do I
behind
hit the
cover."
ground?
Because the tank's behind cover, and you highlighted it, and you see the highlight. So you go center mass, good military man, center mass, and center mass is actually below the ground. So you're hitting the ground.
I don't think so.
It is.
No. Because if I'm pointed at the ground, you won't have a highlight. Unless if you're zoomed in and pointed at the ground, you won't have a highlight. If you're
No.
zoomed out
Yeah.
and driving around, you can certainly be shooting at the ground
Yeah, which you
with
do.
a highlight. I don't think so. All right.
I'm only joking. I'm not getting paid this week, am I?
I think there is something with the dragging thing that's driving me a little bit crazy. Because I've
Yes,
never
it is. Yeah.
had so many times where I zoom in and I go straight into the ground when it looks like I'm pointing at the tank. Now maybe something's changed in the way I'm mechanically doing it after 10 years. I don't know. But that one's...
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. There is a video I watched last night, and I can't for the life of me remember who put it out there. But when you get the server reticle, the server shot point, he was in a Grill 15, and the tank was up here, and the server reticle was down here. So he put his pipper on there and fired, and it hit the tank. Yeah, no, it was this much gap between where he had aimed and where he had fired. I'll try and find the video and I'll throw it to you. You can have a look at it and
Yeah.
see what you think. Really weird. Really weird. Was that? I don't know whether it was lag between the 2 points or I don't know.
Well, if you're just pointing one place, they're both more or less in the same spot. When you move your mouse will move much faster usually
than the server reticle.
well, the turret. So
Right,
there's the server desync and there's also the turret movement.
Right.
Because if I'm looking this way and I go over here and I press click, and my turret, I have a really slow turret. It may fire. It's going to fire in the direction the turret currently is pointed.
Oh, not fire in the direction of where the reticle is. Then it fires where the turret's pointed.
Well, yeah, because that's where the turret's pointed. But then there's the desync of the server because there'll be some lag depending on your ping. So there's like 3 different things going on there.
Right.
And what I'm seeing is, and the other thing is, it tends to grab the ground. So if you put your pipper on the ground, or you get close to it, it's got that thing where it kind of pops back and forth.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking here on a ridge and I see someone over there and I want to bring my turret over, and I just swing the mouse, because you can do that much faster than your turret will move usually, unless it's a very, very fast turret in a small distance. But usually there's some lag, so you go boom, and then I go zoom. What I'm finding is if that pipper is, as it's coming this way, server and the turret, if it grabs the ground, often when I zoom in, it zooms in where the turret's looking.
Right. Okay. It finds the point of least resistance.
So I haven't noticed that since the last patch.
Right.
Maybe since the TD changed to where they changed it to where now your TDs will zoom in where you're looking.
Yes.
As opposed to, because that's what happened with the TD, a casemate.
Yeah.
You'd be looking here, you'd move your mouse, and then you'd zoom in, but it would zoom into where the gun was.
Yeah.
Even though it'd be moving. So they changed that, so you can zoom in around the TD anywhere you want. But what I'm finding is I don't know what's going on with that, and it may have to do with my technique on how I do it. But I think something has to have changed because my technique and the way I did it never gave me that problem in the past.
Right. Okay.
If I'm not near the ground, it's not a problem. I can zoom in on anything I want. If it's dragging on the ground or near the ground, I'm having a lot of trouble with trying to zoom in here. I'm looking here. I look there. I go, well, I want to zoom in there.
It drags you to where the point.
To where the turret's pointed. It just goes goes back to the turret. And typically, I'm looking into the ground, and it's especially irritating when I'm doing hole poking or ridge fighting, and I'm fighting several different guys, and I'm moving my mouse and my turret around trying to get the gun on. Because I'll go, ooh, here he comes, and I'll zoom in on him, and it's like, and I'm looking at the dirt. I'm like, well,
and you don't know what that guy's doing then because he's obviously still moving, and you've got no vision on him. Okay, that's interesting.
In the past, I could zoom in and I'd be looking at him, and I'd have to wait for the turret to come on. You'd see the pipper come across, you'd wait for that to happen. Otherwise, you're shooting that way.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm not really sure what's going on with that.
Okay, interesting to look at.
And it could just be a Guido problem. I don't know. Anybody else having that issue? No idea. Offspring is up. Let's see. What else we got going on? Nothing else really new here. Specials. What do we got? Same thing. Offspring stuff.
Yeah.
Turn it up. Tanks. The Renegade is out there, but this is an exclusive, so I think it's the Twitch Prime stuff.
Yeah, it'll be for you. I haven't got
Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime, whatever it is. Prime Gaming. Is that what it's called now? Yeah. So nothing else too amazing there. Nothing else too amazing.
Have you got at the very end past Battle Pass? Have you got Highway Rock Encore?
Encore, yeah, that's the. You can buy miles. We'll talk about Highway Rock in a minute.
Yeah. Cool.
But for some reason, you really $75.
I know, isn't it horrendous?
What do
That's
you get?
massive money.
Oh wait, there's 18. Is that 18,000 gold?
Yeah, 18,000 gold.
Huh.
And whatever the bonus 360 Highway Rock gasoline is all about, which we'll talk about later.
Isn't that about the price of 18,000 gold? $75?
I think it might be. I'll check.
Guess that's not necessarily a bad deal if it's more or less the same price as 18,000 gold.
I will tell you now, sir.
Yeah, it is. 75.52.
Yeah.
or 74.52. All right, so all right, if you're in the market for gold, as a matter of fact, you can put a coupon on that. By the way, apply the
Yeah, it's
coupon.
the same
I
price.
can bring it down to bonus. No, I don't want that. Let's do this. I can bring it down to $67 for 18,000 gold, and you get a bunch of miles. You get 360 fuel, gasoline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
that's not too bad then.
Yeah.
If you're in the market for gold.
If you're in a market for gold, and you can get some goodies for that. We might as well. Let's just go ahead and flex over to that right now.
Yeah.
Highway Rock, guys. We got some. I got something. Actually, let's do match day first. Let's do match day
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
So match day. All right, here's something everybody needs to know about match day. Come down here to your progress. See these? You have to click to get your reward.
Didn't know that until about half an hour ago.
So see how mine says received? Hover your mouse over the reward. You'll get a little box down here. Click to receive reward or something like that, I believe it says. Do you remember, Pilgrim?
Yeah, it says. Yeah, it does. Claim reward. It says
Claim reward. You have to click on that to get it. It's not automatic. Match day wise, I've got 18 right. What do you got?
What are we at? 20 right.
Nice. And we both picked Italy and we both picked England.
We did.
Is that today?
I think it'll be an Italy-England final.
No, it's not today. It's
No, it's I don't know, a couple of days from now.
yeah, it's a couple days. It's Tuesday, I think.
Yeah, there's a game on the 6th, a game on the 7th,
Yeah.
and then I think it'll be next weekend at Wembley. I think the final's been played at Wembley in London.
Wembley,
So that'll be
nice.
cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, there you go. All right, so that's a match day. Now, Highway Rock. Let's go find that. It's kind of convoluted as well.
Yeah, I've not even looked into it at the moment, but yeah.
Leaderboard, 416 miles. Somebody's gone. All right, so the Highway Rock is going from the 1st to the bundle officers missions. The 1st to the 12th. So next weekend. Then it also has a dedicated site. All right. I'm a Highway Eagle. What's that?
You've got to click on it, haven't you?
Yeah,
Click on
yeah.
things.
I picked Highway Eagles. Then you have missions. So you have to click on the bike. The one that's yellow is the one that's currently active. That mission will be put on your missions tab. We'll take a look at that in just a minute on how to know that. The one I am on is destroy at least 3 enemy vehicles of different types in one battle. I don't even know. Most of these are pretty easy.
What did you join? Highway Eagles?
I'm a Highway Eagle, yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. But I think the Wolves, the Velvet Wolves, let's find out. They're way out in the lead, yeah. So if you haven't picked one, I don't know if you can still pick one, but if you want to be in the winner's circle, probably Velvet Wolves are the way to go.
No, you can still pick one because I've just picked Highway Eagles before you mentioned the Wolves were ahead.
Yeah.
Which means we'll win.
If it's colored in, that means you finished that mission. It's got a little check mark. It shows how much gasoline each one of the missions is worth. I'm on this one down here, so I only have 3 more left. You have till the 12th to do it. So then you come down here. That's the leaderboard, or at least for the teams anyway, not the individual leaderboard. And all the way down here are the rewards. So I have 125 gas. That's why that package you're selling gives you 360. What I don't really know here is Highway Rock reward, 360. Complete the collection of bikes, and then you get, I don't know what. It's a bundle. Is it everything? I don't know what is going on with that reward. I don't know what that is. It just doesn't even say. Is it down
right
here?
at the bottom, you start to talk. It starts to talk 3D styles. Complete the collection of bikes. Make sure to log into the game after you make a successful purchase. Oh, okay. You're gonna have to
I think all it is. Unlock all motorcycles and main progression missions are complete. I think all it is a medal. That's all I can get out of it. I think it's this medal.
Righty. Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm not really sure. This standard act with this, it's not really clear on how this works. I'm assuming you have to pick the things you want with your miles. But even though this says 360 miles, I think you just get it when you get 360. But I don't know. Because I don't think you would want to just get a medal for 360 and not get any of this other stuff.
No, you probably aren't getting everything. I mean, you can, if you scroll right to the bottom, you've got that little 2-cylinder engine, haven't you? The Harley V, whatever it might be. You got that? Have I gone past the
Yeah. I'm just trying to read this. This is so confusing.
Hang on. Where are you? I can't find that bit.
Which, this is on the webpage.
Oh, that's why I can't find it.
Right.
Okay.
So there are some main missions, then there's the missions you get for clicking on the bikes. So when you come over here to your missions tab, that's where this lives. Highway Rock Encore, there it is. So all the bike missions I've done, and they've got names so you can track which ones they are. They're all right there. Then there's the standard ones, and this one is the bike that I'm currently on. Anybody, anytime. Destroy 3 vehicles of different types. And then this is just a daily, I think 5 per day, hit the road mission. And then I've done all the other one-offs in there as well. Conquer the Rock City. And this is just, so I've completed 33 of these, holy cow. And it just adds as it goes. Base experience, damage, and that's how you kind of help your team, because these are miles, I believe. There you go. So you get a mile each time you do that. That's how your team is advancing on that. Yeah. So I've done 60 miles or so, 60 and some 59 miles math in public. So almost 60 miles right there. We're in here, so we might as well look at the rest of this. Silent Huntress is ongoing. I think I'm done with, no, this just keeps going over and over again. You do one a day and whatnot, so there you go. The bundle itself, I've completed all of those. So these are just for some, looks like consumables and some directives. Watch Salute Standard. Here's the match day thing. That's the standard act. That's where you're getting the picks. Really all you need at this point is 3, because there's the semis and the 1 in the final.
Yeah.
Community hunting, Independence Weekend, which is cool. So this is for, I think you can get some Canadian stuff in here too. Yeah, there's some Canadian stuff going on. Oh look, pudding and tea. That's big in Canada, I believe.
Possibly.
Maybe it's maple pudding.
No.
Could be maple pudding.
No, it says restricted to British vehicles. Why have they put it in for independent? I'll tell you why they put it in, because the bloody tax nonsense at the Boston Harbour. You never stop banging on about it, you colonials, do you? For crying out loud, just pay your tax to King George, for goodness sake.
We don't like that guy. Independence Weekend and USA Independence Day are separate for some reason. This actually has Old Ironside style. That's kind of cool. I don't know if I've actually finished that or not. Probably. Looks like you can get 1 a day, potentially. Or is this a tank that I haven't played yet? Hold on. No, it looks like any tank. Okay, that's anything. I must have some of those in my garage, then I probably got some yesterday. Some USA flags, very cool. So this is USA. This must be Canadian and USA stuff. Is that right? Gadsden, yeah, okay.
US Independence, yeah.
Yeah, so this is the combo independence for both countries, and then there's the USA separate one right there. All right, cool.
What's Commander AF's code, by the way?
Commander's AF's code is Fireworks. Fireworks. The Verizon deal. Don't forget to do the Verizon deal, guys, if you are a Verizon customer. Good stuff. Is everybody tracking on that? I don't remember where. I think the link is in the article. I think you can click on it as well off of Highway Rock. There's a banner on Highway Rock as well, as I recall, up at the top. There you go. Yep. All right. So let me show you this real quick. If you haven't done this yet, well, you don't see it at the top of this. I've cut it off because I don't show all my other stuff up there. But there's a banner across the top right above Highway Eagles, and if you click on that, it should take you to your Verizon. There you go. Verizon Special Mission. Oh, wait a minute. What is this? Play 5 battles. Be my. It's so confusing. Complete Verizon daily mission to receive 20. I guess I have that showing in my missions or something. What on earth? All right, here's the link. Get 75 off in-game content. Learn more. Boom. Click that. Then you come to here. It says have wireless. I'm not going to click anymore because I don't know when it gets into my account stuff, but that's what you're going to click there. Have wireless. And then you can get the 75 days, a T78, a style, some other goodies thrown in there. All right?
Yeah, we mentioned it about the T78 being a good deal, really. It's for free.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, absolutely a good deal.
Now, do I have this Verizon, or did I have to click on that to get the Verizon mission? Oh my gosh.
Yep, you've got to click. I bet you. It's World of Tanks.
No, I don't see it here. Play 5 battles, be among top 10, once per day. Where is it? That's not there. Here? Where's the Verizon thing? How do I get to it? Is there another click I haven't done? What the heck is going on? Wargaming, you're killing me, man. I don't see anywhere to click. Available every day. Where, though?
I'll have a look. He says.
You're killing me, Verizon. Verizon Special Mission. Click. Special Mission. Available every day. Clicky, 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 clicky. Ooh, clicky. Oh, God. No, no, no. Complete Verizon Daily Mission. I don't know. Anybody broke that code yet? How the hell? Is it actually here? Hit the road. No, that's what this is. Is that this? That's this. That's this mission right here. I found it.
There you go.
All right, so there's 20 more. There's. Okay. Is that automatic? I think it's automatic. And it doesn't.
Yeah, I can't check it out because I can't do Verizon, so...
Well, oh, you don't have the banner?
Well, no, I just can't do... I can't do Verizon, so I can't even put the missions in, so I can't check it to see... Because it'll be 3 clicks to get anything, won't it?
No, what I'm saying is I think you automatically have it.
Oh, really? Oh, no.
Well, yeah, if you go into your Highway Rock Encore tab and tell me if you have Hit the Road. The Hit the Road mission, that looks like this one right here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So it's part of the tie-in with the Verizon. It appears to be automatic for everybody.
Yeah.
Good
$75 worth of whatever it is.
Yeah.
You can gain credits.
Oh my gosh, that was ridiculous. All right.
I just...
It ends up looking like something special. Right? Goodness gracious. It's 10 minutes of my life I'll never get back right there.
Yeah, no, you won't, will you? You'll never get that back.
All right, Highway Rock, Match Day, Verizon, we got all that stuff. Fireworks is the code. Subjects du jour. Subjects du jour. All right. Recon mode starts tomorrow. Guys.
I'm looking forward to it.
So the way you get to that is click here. You get the new select battle mode page that they have. Oops, not ranked. Recon, which is what you're going to click. And then these are the maps. There's 3 stages, and I think there's 3 maps per stage. And it looks like a week for each one, as I recall, from looking at the article.
10 days, is it? The recon missions will last 10 days.
It is, yeah, looks like 10 days. So there's episodes, episode 1. And that means I believe there's 3 episodes from what I read. You can get Battle Pass points for doing it. There are rewards as well. I might as well bring those up here. If you scroll down through the article, you get down here, and it's on how many times you've played how many battles or how many for each map? I think it's battles total.
Number of battles, yeah.
Yeah, so if you do 50 battles, and it's just a battle number, you get these things. There's some reserves, some days of premium, other little things. Looks like directives and stuff like that, so nothing amazing. But there is some camo, which is kind of like the sense of direction camos, because what it is the maps. They look okay. So you got that camo that you can grab there. I can't really figure out how you get the camo. I'm assuming after you do 50 battles, you get the camo. It doesn't actually say that.
It might just go load in it might just load into your into your game, won't it?
Found it. I didn't see it earlier. It's at 30 battles. You get a unique camo, so you don't have to do 50 for that. At 30, you get the camo. At 50, you get an exclusive medal.
Yeah. Does anybody? I suppose there are some medal collectors out there, but
yeah,
you can go to your your personal sort of stats and stuff, and you can see your list of medals. I don't.
Yeah.
So
it's basically now. Here's the kind of the bummer is it's tier 8 to 10. That sort of sucks. What this means is, if you play your tier 8s, you're always going to see the best you can get is all tier 8 battle if it's the same matchmaker. You're never going to see 6s or anything like that. So take that for what it's worth. And I imagine, oh good lord, you can do marks of excellence as well. Oh jeez. Be the same as random battles. I wonder if you can do your missions too. You might be able to do your missions as well. Like campaign missions. It doesn't specifically say that. Anyway, there you go. It's tier 8 to 10. There's some goodies to get. You have to play a minimum amount of battles to give feedback. Let's see. Feedback is crucial. I saw the number earlier.
6 was it? Did I read
20,
6 somewhere?
20.
20? Oh yeah, I did read 20.
At 20 battles, you'll be able to vote for the map you like the most and the least. So there's all kinds of time gates or play gates or number of battles. So if you want to give opinions on a specific match, you need to play at least 6 battles on the locale.
Battles on the locale.
There you go. All right, so that's coming up. I think that's great.
I think it's nice they've linked it into bits and pieces within the game. Things like bonds and decals and mastery badges and so on. I think it's nice they've linked it in because you get 2 things out of it. You get that sort of rewards for doing it, and also you get to have a look at the new maps.
I think I'm mostly excited about the new map, though. You know what I'm saying? It's
absolutely.
So a kind of finally an iterative system to bring maps, and they're talking about 9. They've got 9 maps that they want to do this with.
Yeah.
Finally, you know what I mean? It's like, how did it take this long to do that? Yeah,
it's almost a given, isn't it? When you think about the map is if you like, the motherboard of the game. If you want player interaction and you want players to enjoy them. See, the problem is, this is the problem, in my eyes, in my honest opinion, is that the people who will go and do this are not necessarily the people that has the same opinion as you. So whatever maps come out of this, there's always going to be a percentage that go, oh, these maps are absolutely crap. But if you don't join in, you don't have a voice. So if you want to say something about a map, you're going to have to do this mode. You're going to have to do it.
I mean, I'm at the point where give me 9 new maps, even if they're not that great.
I don't care. I just need something different.
Yeah.
Than Himmel's
Yeah, just give me something different, and just keep making your crappy maps over and over again. Yeah. At least it's something different, Just Around Midnight says he's over WAD events. Odd Dog doesn't know anything about soccer. He's on level 4. I know. Well, I had a bit of a cheat. I used my cheat card over here, and he helped me out with a couple of them. Yeah.
I didn't get it all right though, did I? I was a bit. There's 1 or 2 games that didn't quite go right.
Cliffy got 27 right. Holy cow!
Wow.
That's pretty dang good.
Hey, look, you see, this is why he needs to do a coffee talk, does Cliffy? He does. Whether he's on his reunion next week or not, I think he needs to do it.
Let's see. Use the odds on a gambling site. That's probably about as good as you're going to get right there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll get to ranked in a minute, Wayne. That's a great question. Why can't you
It is.
play before 6? But we're going to definitely talk about that.
We are.
But yeah, we'll see. I'm looking forward to this recon mission.
Are you actually gonna go and get your 20 battles out the way then on the new maps?
Yeah, I
And
think
have minimal?
I'll probably
Yeah?
play nothing but recon when it comes out. Yeah, new maps. Plus, I'll
Okay.
get
Alright.
battle pass. There's no real reason not to that I can see anyway.
Okay.
I can't see any real downside except for the only tier 8 to 10. But okay, whatever. Give it a
Well,
shot.
yeah, I mean, fair enough, but I mean that's the way that Wargaming always focus on the top 3 tiers for any game changes. To be honest, they don't really look at any. I don't believe they look at stats from 1 to 6 on game changes, and I think they just use the top 3 levels as an indicator of how the game will act after the changes.
Here's a weird thing that's on the article. The statistics of all recon mission battles will be counted in the statistics of random battles. Session statistics will not include recon mission battles.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
That's weird.
It is weird.
The number will be greater. Recon.
So if you win or lose, it won't show on your session stats, but
It'll show up on your main stats. Yeah.
On your main
That's
stats.
what I
your
read
win
that.
rate and, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I read that to me. Recon missions will feature single and multi-tier battles. For multi-tier battles, the matchmaker will assemble battles so that there are more lower tier vehicles than higher tier. Okay. For
So it'll be
example,
like a 357 or a 3 whatever it is, a 312 or
isn't that what it already is?
that's what I thought. I thought there was less top tier than lower tier.
I mean, I
don't
guess
know.
they've had to. Maybe they had to tweak it a little bit because they're only going to have the 3 tiers. I don't know.
Okay.
That's interesting. I'm not really sure why that needed to be said, but there you go. There you go. All right, so that's recon. Looking forward to that.
Yeah. I'll give it a go. Why not?
And now, what else we got going on here? We got that's recon missions. That starts. All right, let's talk ranked. Let's dive into that since we had a comment about it. You like ranked, apparently.
Right. Okay. I did. Right. I'll give you my take on it. The qualification period is a bugger's muddle. It's a pain in the backside because all people want to do is farm damage to get the progression to get into the ranked part. So, for example, the whole 20 battles that I had to get qualified, majority of my team were E100s and stuff like that, sitting on the back line waiting for everybody else to do what they've done so they can just farm damage to get the experience and all the rest of it. Playing aggressively in the qualification period is a big no-no, which I found out after about 15 battles. So I was duly spanked every time, but I managed to get through. And I got into 3rd division. Once you're in the divisions, a lot better. More team play, more supportive play, and more expected play, instead of having huge, great big lumps of metal sat in the back line, not doing an awful lot. So the only downside for me is the time gate. I did the last 3 days. I stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning. Started at midnight, stayed up till 3, and it took me 3 days to get qualified and into divisions. So I'm quitting now. I'm only quitting because I'm knackered. It's got nothing to do with I don't enjoy the mode. I think it's awesome. I really love it. I love the 10 versus 10. Would have been better with 7 versus 7, but 10 versus 10 it gives you room for manoeuvre on the maps. My best tanks, believe it or not, were the French mediums and the Sturve. In fact, my best battle was in the Sturve, and I carried that battle. And I was like, woohoo! Look at me, little old pilgrim, and all these super duper players, and I managed to carry this one. So yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
What you tend to get is you get in the qualification period, you get campers, and you get faced with an enemy that teach you the way of the Jedi.
Well, you're playing early though, because early in ranked when the
Yeah.
good players are going through qualifying as well, and so it's kind of everywhere. I found it to be the kind of the same in qualifying and in third division. I'm up to rank 7 in third division.
Right.
So when you get through qualifying, you have a bunch of bonus battles. I came out of qualifying with 9. I had 9 bonus battles,
Right, I got 5.
and that was nice because when you hit, and I got a couple first place, I screamed through up to 7, and 7's a gated rank, so you can't go lower than 7, which I appreciate. As you will notice, I am only 2 chevrons past 7. I have been to 2 chevrons into 8, gone all the way back to 0 at 7, not 0 chevron, but back to base 7,
Yeah.
and I'm back to 2 chevrons towards 8. I've already been to 8 once. This is my problem with it.
Yeah.
And there has to be something like this. If it's going to be ranked, then you can't just have people progress through, and and essentially you can do that. It's on the one hand, it's not that hard. On the other hand, it's hard because sometimes you get random shit happen. Like you say, you have people sitting in the back farming, and all they want to do is not lose a chevron, right? Their whole plan is to occasionally do well, get a chevron, and then just make sure they don't lose a chevron, and then eventually they'll get there. And that's kind of how the mode goes. But this is just frustrating for me. You can see I'm not doing particularly well. My performance is at 71.43 and my general's 72. I was over 100, but I just hit a patch where I have gone back and forth between 7 and 8 for like 2 days.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of at the point where like, well, okay, it's not. Once again, I've come to the conclusion that it's not worth my time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the 10v10. That's good. I'd rather it was 7v7. I like the matchmaker. Somebody mentioned that.
Yeah. Why does MM work in rank?
Yeah, Sai
I
mentioned it.
mentioned it. Yeah, and Sai.
We're going to get this in a minute. Klaus actually had a whole video on talking about it, which I think you make some salient points in the video talking about the matchmaker in ranked and how it kind of smooths out the rough edges of the general matchmaker by doing things like 1 EBR, 1 arty, matching heavies and mediums, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But for me, I think I'm still going to try to get to second division because I want to get the stupid tank. You know what I'm saying? I want the KPZ, but I'm, and this is why I quit last time and I wanted the KPZ. I'm coming to the point where I might just, and then we have the time gate. The time, I don't play it in the evenings because I'm busy with everything else I'm doing in the evenings. That's family time and wife time and all that stuff. That's a personal problem, but I wish that there wasn't a dang time gate. It's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my thoughts exactly on that, and times it tenfold, because 2-week vacation. I'd quite happily play any period. If it wasn't time gated, I'd sit and grind this thing because I think, given the time, I could actually reach Division 2, possibly Division 1. I don't think it's that difficult to progress. Yes, you get the back and forward, but over time, you should be, if you're playing well, still progress. And I do think I could easily get to Division 2 if I was allowed the time, but I'm not staying up till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning every
Right.
night to
Right.
do it,
And
you know what I mean?
the complaint about it from the top players, like, why should people be able to fail their way to the top? It's not really a ranked thing. But if you look down at the bottom where it has the performance and division and general performance, that's your measure. So if you go look at the leaderboard, people who've already finished, they have like 180% and whatever.
Yeah.
Performance and general performance, how many chevrons per game essentially you get. That's the rack and stack. I'm never going to get there. I've already porked that away. I would have to, if I could shift gears and get 2 chevrons every game from now on, maybe. But if you kind of just slowly creep your way forward like I am doing and like the vast majority of players will do, then people are going to be able to get to the end of it, get the rewards, but they won't be number 1 on the leaderboard. So Randall, this is nice segue, thank you. Cheaters is why they don't get good stuff. So that's part of why there's a time gate. But guess what, folks? Guess what? People are cheating in this mode anyway. They are, and I've been listening to the CC Discord. I won't name names of who's saying it or who the cheaters are, but there is a very strong indication that there are people rigging ranked battles.
Yeah.
On NA, because even in prime time in NA, there's not that many people playing.
Yeah.
So it's happening. And these are very good players. These CCs, they know what the hell they're talking about. They know they're in that circle of that level of players, that they understand what it takes to do some of the things that some of these records are showing people have done, even though their accounts are sitting at like 47%.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
So it's happening. It's happening. It's the same thing for people grabbing 279 earlies and Object 260. Somebody's doing it for them, or they're rigging it, or whatever.
I mean, I haven't seen an example of it because I haven't played it that much, but I'm quite sure there are examples of managed gameplay between the enemy team and the allied team. Absolutely.
So that brings us to the time gate and why it's there, and then for Guido, for my opinion, who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Just turn the damn thing on and let people play it.
Yeah. If people want to cheat, that's fine. That's their business. I just like to see. I'm not asking Wargaming to make me in the top 10 by any way. I mean, I'd never get there. I just want to see. I like the mode. I want to see. I'm pitting myself against generally the same sort of people and generally the same sort of morality. Those 1% of cheaters, fine, get on with it. I'm not interested in you, pal. It happens. But I would like to come out at the end of it and go, do you know what? I'm in the top 10,000.
And once they cheat their way into one of the leagues, it doesn't affect you anymore. You're still grinding around in the 3rd division like I am. Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, look, I do care. I'm not that blasé. I'd love for them to get caught and have their accounts deleted without warning.
Yeah.
That would be my perfect world. Somebody finds someone doing that and the account's gone. No warning, no sorry, no hey, this is what we did.
No, nothing. If it's proven, off you go, sunshine.
Right. Which
isn't
going to happen. So, but why is it that when one person shits their pants, we all have to wear diapers?
Because shit sticks, mate. I know.
You know what I mean? It's just that whole thing. The whole you can't have nice things because somebody's a dirtbag.
Yeah. Deal with the dirtbags. Don't deal with the player base.
Yeah. And if you're unwilling as a company to deal with the dirtbags, let the rest of us have some fun too. Then.
Exactly that. I mean, it's a cracking mode. I really enjoyed it, and I wouldn't have stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning each night if I didn't enjoy it. Yeah. And it gave me a sense of not worth, but it gave me an idea of what level I'm at, because I can actually hold my own. And some of these players were very good players, and I was quite impressed with myself. I was like, bloody hell, Pilgrim, you've managed to survive this one.
Yeah.
I think it's probably because I'm not platooned with you, but anyway, that doesn't matter. But yeah, you know what I mean? It's just fun, and you're pitted against some very good players, which you don't get to see all the time in pubbies.
Yeah.
So, and as I said, I was taught the way of the Jedi many times, which is a learning curve. I learnt loads. Really, in just 3 days, I learnt loads.
Yeah. One of the other reasons I'm having trouble moving on is I'm playing the Manticore.
Yeah. I did play the Manticore once. I gave up after that. I thought...
I have, I don't know if I've played, I guess I have played a couple. I think I played one medium and maybe a heavy somewhere along the way, but the majority of what I've done has been Manticore. I guess when I was doing my, that's not necessarily true. When I was doing my bonus battles, I played a wide variety of tanks, because you can only do one bonus battle per tank per day. Yeah. And I did it all in one day, so all but one. So I did play it, but I've done a bunch of Manticore games, and it's not easy moving along. So you do have to play to strengths. I mean, there are tanks that are better than others. Your super conquerors, your hold down fighters, your auto loaders. It's the standard thing, but it is better matchmaker wise. It just isn't perfect. Terrifying Dr. Love, that's a great question. I don't have an answer to. Personal rating and WTR. I don't know.
It's always different, though, isn't it? It's always different. It's not the same.
Well,
so they must base it on two different facts, two different sets of stats.
It is, but it's the same stuff. I mean, it's damage,
right.
And but it's just done a little bit different. The thing is, if you go to your service record, you have a personal rating, boom, and this is a lifetime personal rating right here. Since 2011 or whenever it was I started my account. It looks like June 10th, 2011 when I started my account. So over 10 years ago now. Holy cow. So that's a lifetime thing and includes everything you've done to more or less. The WTR is newer, and I don't know how far back it goes. Also, you can get a different personal rating, I believe, by going to the Hall of Fame. Or is it WTR? Let's jump in here. So now there you go, WTR. So WTR was this kind of, I thought, experimental thing. If you'll notice, this is supposedly still beta, but oh, by the way, it's been out 5 or 6 years. I haven't touched it really.
It's some beta, that, isn't it?
So I don't know, man. It's great question. No idea.
It's quite fun to go to that page actually and start looking at you scored higher than 72% of players. You scored higher than 63%. Gives you an indication where you're at. So if you're in the high percentages, you're moving forward.
So in this one, that's right. This one only goes back to 2014. That's when they did this. In 24. So now it's actually 7 years of beta. They really haven't just touched this thing. So if I click on this, and I'll go all vehicles, all vehicle tiers, then that brings me to a 8723 WTR lifetime.
Yeah.
Higher than 99, top 1%, basically, which is slightly different than my personal rating. I don't know if this one takes into now, earlier, now, or whatever the hell earlier means. Oh, it says a date right there. So this actually only takes into account 46,903 battles since 2014, whereas this one takes into account all my battles. Personal rating.
Okay, well that's the difference.
I know that's not a great answer, but it's just, it's, for one thing, it's different time frames. It could be the exact same calculation with just taking into different time frames, but I think they modified it a little bit. I do know that your personal rating takes into account the number of battles you have, which will add some points to it. And I think it decreases the more you have, but it does add some points. I don't know if WTR adds points. I think Cliffy's gone. He hasn't said anything for a while, but he may know the actual calculations in there. So not a perfect answer, but there you go. Ultimately, it's different time frames, I think, is the biggest thing. All right, is that it for ranked? I mean, I like the 10v10. I like the matchmaker. I don't particularly care for the Chevron system. I get it. They kind of need something like that. It gets frustrating, though. The biggest thing is the time gate for me. I don't play at that time of day. I don't want to stay up till 2 in the morning grinding out rank, getting frustrated, losing Chevron. So, mental health.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do we need an auto loading Object 590? Do we need an auto loading Russian tank?
Of course we do, because we haven't got enough.
No, okay. That's...
you got to have a choice, haven't you?
So apparently there's an auto loading Russian tank coming. The 590, which is trying to find the thing, which is a IS-3A style autoloader, which means the first shell loads faster, and then it gets longer. So it's an auto reloader.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Daz has done a video on it, says Psy, so there must be something out there already about it. Do we need another object? Of course we do.
It's a tier 9. My assumption here is it's a reward. Maybe it's a battle pass reward for the next battle pass season. Okay. Maybe it's a ranked reward for the next ranked season. It's a 9 reward tank. So those are the two things that, as of right now, that we have rewards for. And they're separate at this point. Ranked rewards are separate from Battle Pass. Battle Pass, they brought most everything together except Ranked. Ranked still has its own reward tanks that you can't get in Battle Pass, but Battle Pass has brought everything else together. So whether this is a Battle Pass or a Ranked tank, I don't know, but it's floating around out there.
Do you think... Okay, that's a good explanation. Do you think that it may be an indication that premium tanks may go to tier 9 as a matter of course now, as a more...
I don't know, that's been rumored for a long time, but we've had so many tier 9s that just haven't done that. They've all been reward tanks.
Yeah.
Don't know. It's a good question. So far they haven't haven't done that. But you have to think maybe at some point, in order to keep the money.
It's a money maker for a lot of for the business, because a lot of people will buy in to get into Tier 9 tank. I mean, new players and everybody, like they do already with Tier 8 premiums.
It's a good question. I don't know. We'll see. I tend to think it's probably a reward tank for one of the modes, but they haven't done that yet. And then of course the next question is there, are they going to sell Tier 10s, right? But that's all.
I don't think that's
that's pure speculation. I mean, there's no information on that out there.
It would be, I guess, it would be difficult for Wargaming to do that, given that the player base worldwide may well be up in arms about that, because I don't know. They call it their premium tier, don't they? They love Tier 10. Does Wargaming? They think it's the pinnacle of the game. So
they always call it the end game or end game content and all that stuff. I've always had an issue with that. I thought all the tanks are cool. If they would just create the modes and competitions at lower tiers, they would have all kinds of stuff. Why they don't have a hyped leaderboard for stuff monthly and 6 monthly and yearly and all that, I'll never understand, with rewards and things. So you can get gold or whatever for being number 1, 2, or 3 in whatever tank. That would get every one of their tanks. People would be playing, everything different.
Well, exactly that. I mean, it's not the trouble is with this setup. I'd say the trouble, but it's the grind. So you do the grind, you start to ignore 1 to 4 as you move that way. You start to ignore 1 to 6.
Yeah.
Well, not 6, but certainly 1 to 5. So you start playing all your games as you progress through the game. 7, 8, 9, 10, and eventually you get to 8, 9, and 10 with occasional dip into 6. If you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, I mean you can make competitions. You can make competitions at all the tiers. And I know they have tournaments and stuff, but it really should be integral to the game, where you get into the leaderboard thing that I was just looking at, the stats thing, and then you have every tank racked and stacked, and you have the number 1 through 3 person, or 1 through 10 or whatever. And at the end of the month, if you're 10th in the STB1 or 10th in some Tier 5 tank or whatever, you get a little goodie. It doesn't have to be much. No, it could be a couple directives or some piece of equipment or something small like that. And then you could even do that. You could do that at all tiers. Why not have leaderboards at Tier 1? You get people down there raging around.
Do you remember the most fun I've had with World of Tanks? Do you remember the toilet bowl map? Can you remember that? The Tier 1 toilet bowl map?
Oh yeah.
When you used to go down, there's a little city. Yeah. That was the best fun. You're in your T1 and you're waiting for the countdown. You go bombing down there, and you get, it was just so much fun. It was just fun. It really was. You were just screaming around in a T1, just blapping everything.
I don't remember what that map was called.
I don't know. Toilet bowl, wasn't it? Shit bowl. I don't know. Himmel's bowl shit.
Mittengard, just around midnight. Got it.
Mittengard. There you go. That was so much fun. And that hooked me on the game. That did. It was like, I didn't care about hiding behind rubble or that. I just piled in there. Woohoo! Here we go down the hill. Zuberg has destroyed his Win 8.
Because you were farming it down at Tier 1?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk field modification sandbox results.
Just looking at that. Yeah, that's interesting.
So, basically, once again, we created a new thing called field modifications. We put it in a sandbox. We sent out a survey, and we've declared victory.
Yeah, we've decided that's it. Done.
We've declared victory.
Hoorah.
Preliminary results, as well as direct feedback, show us roughly 75% of players liked the key mechanics of field modification and were positive about the addition of this feature. That is such a loaded statement.
And it just...
What key mechanics? All of them? 2 of them? 3 of them?
Yeah.
Was it 75% of one mechanic? Was it 99% of one mechanic and 50% of another mechanic, and it came out to 75? We never see these numbers.
Nope.
And is 75 liked count everything from, it's sort of okay to, oh my gosh, it's great.
You got a survey range.
Yeah.
You get 1 hated it, 10 loved it to bits, and then everything in between.
And then their surveys are never parsed out that way, because I just took one, and one of the answers on one of the questions was somewhat like, somewhat don't like, and there's nothing else.
Yeah.
Or hard to tell, or whatever. The
What's
third
your
thing.
age?
What? What are you wearing?
Yeah. What colour shoes have you got on?
So right off the bat, highly suspect the 75%. Why is it always 75%? Have you noticed that?
It is the same.
It's always 75%. That's
2/3-ish.
That's very Soviet, isn't it? 99.9% voted for the current minister or whatever it was back in the day.
Yeah, it's called democracy, comrade.
It's always 75%. It's the same number.
You're supposed to have a few dissenters, but majority of the Soviets agree.
In particular,
Soviet not in the political term, Soviet in the generic term.
yeah. In particular, players generally appreciated the new opportunity to fine-tune their favorite vehicles to their personal playstyle. Okay, that is a very general statement, and as a general idea, yes, it was cool that there was some of the features were good as a general idea. Players confirmed the new role system used in field modification broadly matches the main functions of vehicles.
Yeah.
And basing modification bonuses on vehicle roles was the right choice on our end.
See, they're coming back to that vehicle role business again.
This is my favorite sentence of the whole thing, though. The preliminary data we see inspire great optimism, as it shows players grasped the core mechanics of field modification and found them useful for their vehicles. Good job grasping the intent, my friends. Good job that you, yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah. That's almost condescending, isn't it? That is
It's always condescending.
Yeah.
It is almost always condescending.
Get it right.
It's probably my greatest gripe about this company. It is the Pravda-like propaganda kind of writing that comes out from them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, Cliffy says it's just a translation issue. However, I've been watching this for 10 years, and I have said that a bunch of times, and I will agree that's probably part of it. But it's the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing over and over again. So it is the tone they use. That is the tone they use. It's not a mistake in 10 years. It's no longer a mistake after 10 years. It's
very much. This is our game. We understand it completely. You guys don't. You just play it. So what we're saying is gospel.
Right.
And you don't get it.
That's played out by actions. It's not like I'm just taking this as one off. They said something once. It's over and over again with here's what you get. This is what it's supposed to be. Here's how it should be played.
Yeah.
That's how it comes at us all the time.
Yeah, that's the vehicle role. So why play it outside its role? Not happening.
Yeah, we'll give you a bonus for playing in its role, even though that may not be the way you want to play. I'll give you a great example. I don't know if I kept the battle. I should have. I had a mana core in battle and ranked. What I did was critical to winning the game. But what I did had no experience attached to it. It was a place I went, and it was a harassment I was doing, and it was turning turrets and doing some things, and I got zero credit for it. We ended up winning, but there's no experience for that kind of stuff, because some of the things you do in games, not all, I will give them credit. Their experience system captures pretty decently, giving you credit for things that win. Actually, that's one of the good things. That's one of the actual pretty good things they're at. However, there are situations, often, not all the time, but often enough to be noticeable, where you do something that has no experience attached to it.
Yeah.
It's not your role, blah, 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 blah. So, therefore, very few people do it. But when you get good enough, you can start doing those things to tip the balance in wins. Yeah. But other than getting the win, which is important because that can help, because in ranked, at least if you get the win, you're keeping or getting chevrons is widened out.
Yeah.
So everyone is helped, to include you.
Yeah.
But still, it's not always credited.
Well, it's now you say that, I've realised where it didn't work for me, because I took the Monty out twice during ranked. One of them was the Sanddorf Himmels River map.
Sand River, yeah.
Yeah, the whole of the two teams, with the exception of a couple of campers, one was a Yagaroo, all went up to the sand dunes on the left-hand side of the map. If you spawn on the can't remember which side it is. Anyway, I went up to the hill and I actually got to their back line and I took on the Yagaroo. I was behind their base and the Yagaroo was on that pinnacle where it sits, where the TVs all sit.
Yeah.
And I managed to track him and I got damage on him and I got him hit by everybody. And eventually the mediums on the sand dunes realised what was happening and come back and finish me off. Because I hung around too long.
Yeah.
But I managed to do that, get to the back line, dealt all that damage, did everything, and I got virtually nothing out of it.
Yeah.
Virtually nothing out of it.
Well, that was the map, actually, and it was more or less what I was doing as well.
Yeah.
Coming in back behind there and getting some guys turned around and peeling a couple off of the front line to come deal with you.
Yeah, exactly.
But you don't get a lot of credit for that. So.
Right, okay. Now I understand.
So, yeah.
Sorry.
So field modifications is probably coming. So the cool thing on that is I like the part where you can pick a different setup.
Yeah.
Like when you look at the map, go, I'll do setup 1 this time or setup 2. So you have 2 setups. Okay, got it.
And you can preload those, can't you? You can preload the setups. Right.
Their concerns section are some things I had concerns with as well. Higher bonuses for tier 9s and 10s, which would increase greatly. So if you're going to have a 3-tier system and then your 10s are going to get more modification stuff than your 8s, that makes the 10s even more powerful compared to the 8s. That's terrible.
What's that? So that's how many slots are in each setup?
I don't remember how it went, but the tier 10s got the most stuff.
Right, okay.
As if they needed the most stuff.
Yeah.
Against each other, that's fine.
Yeah, but tier 8s.
Yeah, but against tier 8s, if you're still going to roll with the plus 3 tier matchmaking or plus 2 matchmaking, is that a harbinger of things to come? They're going to change the matchmaking? I don't know. So I think that's kind of a bad idea. There are some improvements that were excessive, and those were brought out by multiple people making videos and you guys testing it. So there's a couple problems there. Hopefully they sort those out.
Yeah.
Unbalanced choices for some dual modifications. Okay. Costs. I don't give a shit about the costs. I mean, it's grind some credits, dude. It ain't that hard.
No.
Questions regarding limitations to category. Yes. And concerns about loading.
I didn't realise that. I didn't realise there was limitations to categories. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And then concerns about loadout selection. Of all of
There's
this,
not a choice. Yeah.
Of all of this, the only thing I really think should go in the game is the ability to change a setup, because that's a tactical, cool decision.
Yeah.
I just don't like making the tanks better simply because you grind them more.
No.
I don't. That doesn't make. That doesn't. I don't. It's just stupid. It is. It's dumb.
Yeah.
You're
because
giving.
all that is doing is giving you a massive advantage.
That's already what happens with crews.
Yeah.
We already have that with crews.
Yeah.
And it's always been crew has always been a very small bonus. But not negligible, but very small. That's always been the strength of this game. Bonuses have always been, until in the last 2 or 3 years, very small and subtle changes. Yeah. And we're getting to this point where we're stacking so much stuff on top of stuff and adding more stuff that the difference between a baseline tank and a fully upgraded and all the extras and the extra slots and the crew and everything else. Personal reserve, not personal reserves, but directives, blah blah blah. The gold, special equipment, almost special equipment, kind of special equipment, cool equipment, crappy equipment. Whatever the hell the levels are now.
Yeah,
we're getting the frickin' difference is becoming noticeable.
And when you get, I mean, it makes me smile when you load in game and the first thing that somebody types is, "I'm stuck, guys. Sorry." You start to think, well, that's written off then. He's no good, because way back when you didn't really care. I'm stuck, so just get in the game. But now when they say I'm stocked, does that mean you've got a one skill crew? Does that mean you've got no directives on it? Does that mean your equipment's standard? What does that mean now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it's your first battle in that tank you've just grinded into. Whatever. It will make a difference. You're right. It does make a difference.
The stock grind doesn't last that long, and you're getting to the baseline. The grinding stuff for modules at this point is kind of passe. It's not. I don't even know. It's a good question to ask on. It's a valid question, I think, to ask why it's even still in the game. That used to be the game, right? You'd grind to the top, and then you had a few extra bonuses, and your crew got better. But the difference between an elite tank and a tank with a really good crew and full equipment was this. But now there's so many buffs you can stack on top that now it's this. You got a baseline crew. Yeah. Never mind stock. Let's just throw that out because I think that's whatever. But you got an elite tank with 100% crew. The difference between that and all the bonuses is now this. Used to be like this, now it's this.
Yeah.
And growing every time they add a new thing, like progression.
And also because this game has been going for so long, there's now a fair percentage of players with 5 or even 6 skill crews. I mean, I personally think the first 4 skills are probably the most relevant, and then the rest of it, there's just bolt-ons. Possibly 5 skills is relevant. But once you've got a 5 skill crew, any skill after that.
That's true for any crew of 4 people or more.
Yeah.
If you get to the 3 crew tanks,
then you need them all.
Depending on where they've put the radio operator and the loader, if it's all piled on the commander, now you're talking 6 or 7 or 8 to get all the skills that are relevant that you want. But your point's well taken. That's the majority of tanks. Yes, 4 or 5. You pretty much got everything that matters.
Yeah. And I think that's why the rework. We've talked about this. The Crew 2.0. It doesn't need to be the big hammer. It needs to be. Let's make some of the other skills more relevant to what the game is today.
Yeah.
But
that's hard though, because what matters in the game?
Yeah, it's a personal opinion, isn't it?
Well, it is, but it is, but there are certain things that matter in the game.
Yeah.
And it's why some of the skills don't matter. Like the radio things for radio ranges. That was something they put in early and never really developed, and now it's like a useless flap of skin at this point. It doesn't matter at tier 5 or so.
A useless flap of skin, but we'll go there if you want.
Yeah. But what matters? Gun handling.
Yeah.
Vision.
Yeah.
Camo. Absolutely. And maybe speed thrown on there.
Yeah. Or mobility.
So that's it. Those are everything that matters. So now you're talking about, all right, let's make new skills that are cool. Like, okay, but they're all going to be related to those 4 things.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
The ones that matter. You can make a skill, I don't know,
Well, intuition is one. I don't particularly. I've got it on some of the bigger tier 10s. The big slow reloaders. I've got intuition on it, but the amount of times it kicks in is worthless to me. Every 100 games or something it kicks in. Intuition, get rid of it. Do something else with it.
Yeah. Anyway, well, actually, though, intuition is better now.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, they changed it. I haven't looked into it too closely, but intuition apparently will switch the shell quite quickly now. I think it's automatic or something. I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd have to look at it. It's a different skill now.
Randall's talking about. Did you notice the number of players that are suddenly caring about new players? And context. We need context with that. Caring, as in, what, going around and making them a cup of tea, or for not being.
Well, I think because people are seeing the loss of players at this point. It's starting to become apparent. Intuition accelerates gun loading if the vehicle has. Oops, that's adrenaline. Sorry. Allows for quicker switching. To activate the skill, a gun, a double-barrel gun, or a magazine must be fully loaded. So you have to be loaded. So once you're loaded, average skill. The minimum time to change a shell is 1 second for cyclic, 2.5 for double barrels and magazines.
Okay, well that is a big difference. Now it's a worthwhile skill to grind. But
so it'll change the shell in 1 second. Is that what I'm reading? Or it says minimum. Is there some other calculation on top of it? Is it a percentage?
I've had an instant change. I've had that 1 second change, I must admit.
Yeah, I don't.
Ping, it goes ping, and immediately it's changed, but only when it's fully loaded.
Yeah. So I'll have to look into that. I don't have intuition on a lot of tanks. So I'll have to try to figure that out. I've read it several times, and it says the minimum time. No more shell loading is about 10 seconds, IS3. It's a skill now. Oh, I see. So it gets down to 1 second? 3.1 on your grill. Well, that's pretty good to switch shells. 3.1 seconds instead of the whole, whatever a grill A is, 15 or whatever, 12, something like that.
Mitochondria says it's
2.6 on IS. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's actually useful. And it decreases, yeah, so it's a skill, not a perk. All right,
Okay,
cool.
now that's cool. Okay.
Now, there's an
I-
example. There's an example of an iterative change to a skill that was
Yes.
basically useless. So it
Yeah.
can be done. That's what you do with the rest of the skills instead of this crew 2.127985.
Yeah. Yeah.
It shows on the screen. All right, cool.
Yeah, and that's the point we've always made. Instead of the sledgehammer effect, let's introduce Crew 2.0 because we need to revamp crews. Do exactly that. Initiative changes, small little incrementals that make the game slightly better,
Yeah.
that make the mechanic of the game better.
Oh, so someone's saying it must show up over here if you've got intuition.
Oh, does it show
Yeah.
on your
Yeah.
on the thing on the right hand side, whatever that's
Let's do
called?
this.
Yeah. What's it be? What will it be under? Firepower.
I'm gonna actually reset this, and we're gonna grab that skill and see what happens here. So let's grab. We're gonna need brothers, obviously. Situational awareness, both important. Then we're gonna have safe stowage. Then we'll grab intuition. So it's not going to be 100%. No, it doesn't do anything. It didn't show that.
I'm trying to see it as parameter modifiers. I can't see it as a parameter modifier.
Yeah, it's not showing up.
I wonder if it's something else.
Somebody's saying in chat where it shows up. Shows up under the reload next to the red. Oh, in game. Okay, it's in the game.
In game. Right.
All right, in the game. All right. Well, we got it on this tank, so we'll check it out next time I play the Soup Air. All right, cool. So that's field mods. It's coming, folks. I'm with you. I think where was it? Cliffy. Where was it? Field mods are bad for new players. Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. Because first of all, you've got to grind all the modules. Then you've got to grind the field mods.
Yeah, it's going to make it more difficult, isn't it, for new players? Because there's already a lot you need to do as a new player to be able to push yourself forward. They've just added the load, really.
Yeah.
They're not going to see that, are they? But then
It's
again,
quite a grind, though. Actually, I mean, that is one thing. You're going to be playing. You're going to be playing your tank a lot to grind out the field mod stuff. But of course, then we're talking about can you use free XP for it? All the XP bonus things we have going on now. So all of a sudden, all those are useful for people who have elited everything, like I have. So you're going to get through it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, 28,000 per field mod. But still, you can crank through quickly now with personal directives, clan directives, all the bonus missions, the ×5 missions that they throw out all the time, all the stuff that you can crank through 28,000 pretty quick.
Yeah.
Why we care about new players all of a sudden? I think I've always cared about new players.
Well, I think it's the lifeblood of the game. If you bring new players in, I mean, personally, if you bring a new player in, then you have a responsibility to help that new player through. If it's a friend of yours that you brought into the game, but overall, new players is the lifeblood of the game. If we have an attrition rate and we don't have it replaced by new players, then eventually, whatever server you're on, the game dies a death, doesn't it? So you've got to be thinking about new players.
Well, that's a good segue actually into the CC rants that we've seen lately.
Yeah.
I think the big ones being obviously Skill. Skill had a big deal. Went off on Wargaming. Quickie, I think, has done something similar.
Yep.
Not exactly. And then Klaus has been on a
Klaus.
roll lately as well. He's had 2 or 3 videos in a row. Klaus's last one about ranked, I found to have some good points in it.
Yeah.
About the matchmaker and ranked being better and the gameplay and ranked being better. Has Des been doing it too? Okay, so Des has one out there. So apparently it's... Do I have to make a rant video? Is it my turn?
Yes, you've got to do a rant video now.
Yeah.
I think yours is always a rant video, though.
Sometimes. Yeah, I don't know. They're kind of all over the place, though. It's kind of.
Well, there will never be a popular consensus with CCs because each CC will have its. Generally, there will be, but they will have their own take on the game, you know. And I think Klaus brought some salient points out about the MM. Why can't that also be introduced into pubbies? There's obviously a reason why. I mean, wargaming must see, surely, the sense in having the MM so much. For example, one arty per side, one wheelie per side, and if you've got a wheelie on one side, you've got to have a wheelie on the other. They must see that. They can't be blind to that. But why they don't do it? There's hidden reasons, I guess. You know, does that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, it's and it's been asked on my channel a couple times. Hey, if they see that in ranked, 1 EBR per team is the way to go, even on a 10v10.
Yeah.
Never mind a 15v15. Why is that not good? Why can't that be for pubs? I don't know. It's a good question. Klaus gets into a lot about how they must be catering to the top 1%. I don't know about that, but I see where it comes from. And when I listen to the CC channel on the Discord, there's a bit of that kind of thing. We worked for it. People don't know what they're talking about. All that kind of elitist stuff.
Right.
Which happens in any endeavor.
Yeah, of course it does.
Yeah. Whether it's a sport or a business or school. The people who are succeeding are going to have a certain amount of expectation of the fruits of their success. I get that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But basing everything on those people is probably not a great idea, especially if we then go back to what you were just talking about. We want to grow the community, or at least retain. This game is well past its growth period. That's not probably happening anymore. What we're trying to do is maintain and bring in enough that the decrease is slowed down, if not neutered or neutral. That's about the best you can expect, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Si, and that's kind of what I'm getting at. Without the average player, as Klaus says, the average schmo, there's nobody for us to run around beating up on.
Yeah.
Cliffy, I don't know, man. I'm with you. That's why I'm not sold on that idea. But if you look at some of the changes lately, it's hard not to come to somewhat of a conclusion that's happening.
Yeah.
The HE changes, the SPG changes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know there's a lot of different opinions on the HE changes.
The thing about the 1% is that it may well have a slight effect, in my opinion, because they probably shout the loudest, so they get heard. The majority of the player base, wouldn't contact Wargaming in any way, shape or form to say anything about it. They'd have a moan on the forums, or they'd have a moan between themselves. But the majority of the player base are not stridently shouting from the rooftops, whereas the 1% have almost an entitlement to shout in their own opinion. I'm a 65% player. I've got 80,000 battles. I'm entitled to tell Wargaming what I think about this. And so maybe because they're shouting the loudest, they do get slightly looked at, possibly.
Well, they're the biggest supporters, right? They're the most engaged. The engaged community, and Wargaming has the numbers on that, is pretty low percentage. The majority of players, they don't even go to the forums. The majority, they might visit once in a while looking for some information, maybe. The majority of players just turn the game on and play.
Yeah, exactly.
That's across every game. That's not me making up a stat or a number. It's just
No,
a
no,
fact.
that's the truth of any game.
That's what happens in games. The majority of people don't even bother unless they get interested enough to figure out a specific thing, and then it's probably just every now and again.
Yeah.
We, this community, and the people who are watching right now are completely on one end of the spectrum. We are the engaged group of players.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cliffy, exactly. So there's probably a lot of people who don't even know HE has changed, to be quite honest. I liked 13 Disciples' video. I disagreed with some of his. He made some leaps of logic. It's not the word I'm looking for. It explained very well the loop as he was talking about. I don't think it's a given that HE in its old form broke the loop.
No.
I think that was the greatest fallacy of his argument, and it's the one place you could attack it, probably the easiest, because he went in with the assumption that the old HE was incorrect for the loop when it was perfectly fine for the loop. The loop doesn't give a shit.
No.
It doesn't matter what the mechanic is. The mechanic can still exist in the loop. It didn't break the loop. It was just a different definition of the loop.
Yeah.
So that was false as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it was a fantastic video, and he made his case. So what the video was really great for was making his case using the loop. Claiming that the old HE broke the loop was bullshit, because it didn't. It was a different loop.
Yeah.
That's
and it had its own mechanic in the game. It's as simple as that. And you would play. If you were being, you get into a hold down position, you're being hit by HE, you're taking small amounts of damage through the armor and so on, and the splash and all the rest of it. But that was part of the game, so it was never a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think it was only a big deal to those few players that didn't like their T95s taking damage in any way, shape, or form.
Well, here's the greatest, and here's the greatest, in my opinion, not greatest. Here's the main argument against that whole idea that HE, as it was previously mech'd, broke the loop and required no skill. That's complete horseshit. Like, well, you didn't need to know about armor. You just blap people. That's not true. You had to know the system of the game, and you could use skill with the HE.
Yeah.
For example, if you knew armor layouts, you could shoot underneath a tank with light armor on the bottom, and you could penetrate the bottom of the tank. That is a knowledge of tanks. Like, well, that's easy. Well, okay, but that was how it was set up.
That was never easy, because I only learned this, and I actually checked it out with you about 6 or 8 months ago. You and I talked, and I said, "Did you know HE can do damage underneath a tank?" And you went, "Yeah, of course." I said, "I didn't know that. I played this game for like 7 years. I didn't know HE could be I could be fired at the ground underneath the tank, and it would take damage." And I had a whale of a time. I had about 10 games loaded full of HE, just trying every tank I came across. So yeah, that's a point. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Little known doesn't mean skilled. Exactly, Cliffy.
Well, so you would have to know armor layouts to do stuff like that. So that's the same thing as going, well, you need to hit weak spots with your HE shield. Actually, you could still hit weak spots with the old HE and do more damage. That was the idea of it, right? Yeah. But it had the burst thing, and it had some wonky ways of finding those weak spots at times. But you were still, if you were shooting an upper deck, trying to hit a faceplate and get down into, that is knowledge of the armor just as much as it is knowledge of the armor of shooting a viewport or a lower plate or something more lightly armored. The general idea of that hasn't changed. That's how HE worked in the past. It was the mechanics of the explosion and where that weak spot was in relation to it that mattered. And I would contend that was actually harder to know than shooting the known weak spots.
Yeah.
The one thing that it did need to be sorted out with was the amount of damage. It was always the alpha, and potentially the fact that it shredded off so much. And that's the alpha. That's the alpha. Yeah. It's not how the mechanic worked. Like
Mr. McGon was saying there in chat, all they had to do was, actually, reduce the pen of the high caliber guns like the 152 and the 183, but also they could have reduced the blast sphere for those particular shells, so it wouldn't find every weak spot.
It was rewarding knowledge, Cliffy. If I hit there on purpose, knowing that the lighter armor was on the deck, there's no difference between that knowledge of skill and knowing that the frickin' gun port's weak.
Yeah.
It's weaknesses. It's this is what I can't wrap my mind around. And what it comes down to is what's not liked is and I do agree with this part to some extent, that you could pop out blap and do your damage, and you would get a bunch of weird crits and all that good stuff. But I, on purpose, multiple times, and I think a lot of people did this, is pick spots to hit with the old system in order to get extra critical damage under the tank, trying to get into back decks, shooting down on weak armor, into turrets, blah, 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 blah.
Avoiding things like tracks and stuff like that, because you know HE.
And I'm not even necessarily arguing that the new system isn't okay to some extent. I'm just devil's advocate. It's total horseshit to say it required 0 skill and now it's some kind of epitome of skill. Bullshit. It's bullshit. It's a bullshit argument. It's easily debunked. It's just ridiculous.
Well, there's the proof in the pudding. All right, it was heat, so maybe it was slightly different. But the time RNG favoured me, that replay you put up on your channel for us in the Yagaroo, and I snapshotted that AE phase. There was no aim in there. I just lobbed a heat at him, and it just took him straight out. You know, and there was no. I didn't aim.
Well, that's the RNG effect on it. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's RNG.
Yeah.
But okay, we're talking high explosive anti-tank, but it's still high explosive, so it did what it did. There was, so I fail to see that if people now stop and aim HE. I think players just lob it like they normally have done.
Oh, absolutely. It's not going to change a damn thing. 100%. No way. If you didn't have the wherewithal to think about it to begin with, if your go-to shell was HE, and all you did was not aim at anything or think about it, this change is not going to make you do that. It's going to make you do one of two things: continue doing what you're doing and fail, which you were doing anyway, by the way.
Yeah.
Even if you were running around lobbing HE at people without aiming in the old system, even if you were hurting some super unicum who got upset that you hit his turret of his chieftain and did 200 or 300 damage, you weren't winning. You weren't. It's the same thing. It's the same argument with Artie. It's the same argument with Artie. Artie was never overpowered. HE was never overpowered. It may have been broken if that's the argument you want to make, but it never made people win more.
No, it didn't. I mean, your T-49s or your Death Stars or your artillery, they were just part of the mechanic of the game. They weren't giving you any significant advantage.
The second thing it'll do is they'll quit.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Right? If they look at it and go, well, I've been blapping, I don't really have any interest in figuring this out, I'll just go to another game.
Yeah. Because they weren't doing what their mates were doing. They'd see a clanmate or they'd see somebody to play with that maybe they introduce him to the game and he's doing the business, and they're trying to do this. Well, they're not even trying to do this. They're just lobbing HE and they go, well, this is shit. I can't do this.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's a skill factor.
I don't think that feedback is going to do a single thing, Cliffy.
No.
I don't think it's. And anyway, it was really only a factor on a handful of tanks: the KV-2, the Sherman Derp, the Panzer IV-H Derp, the few mid-tier Derps that people would run around just derping people with.
Yeah.
And then the higher tier stuff, which would be the FVs, the 2 FV versions, guys shooting HE out of JPZs or even E100s, 60 TPs potentially, the big guns that could lob some HE. But none of those guys were winning doing that.
No. The winning shots were the AP rounds that were aimed and getting big damage off it.
Yeah.
That was where it was at.
So it was an alpha issue, really, more than anything. And they have solved that, I would guess, because you've got the heavier armor. If you just blap heavy armor, you're doing less damage. So I don't know, man. I don't see it as a net positive except for a certain amount of very good players. That's really the bottom line. That's who
Yeah.
that's who it's going to help. It is not going to help bad players get better simply
No.
because they do less damage. That's
No.
that ain't happening. It ain't happening. And in theory, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it will. Maybe it's the magic bullet that will teach bad players to be good because they're doing 25% less damage with HE.
I don't think we'll ever see those stats.
Is that it? You now do 25% less with HE, even if you don't aim, because you're still going to hit them with HE and hit something, unless you hit a screen.
Cliffy makes a good point, but most HE players will probably do what I did and change it to heat. Because although I remember Avalon saying there was no change with heat, heat is a better penetrator and a better round altogether. So most people with HE get peed off with it will just change to heat if it's available. Why fire HE when you've got heat? Does better.
Cliffy, I'm with Klaus on this one. I think they listened to the super unis. I think they listened to the wrong people. Period. I don't know why they did it. Other than that, do you really think that it's some very clever effort by Wargaming to increase the skill of the player base? I mean, I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say. Really, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make the game any better, except for a few people. It's certainly made it worse for average to bad players.
Yeah, I think that it's definitely.
The same thing happened with Artie. The same thing has happened with Artie
Yeah.
with the giant nerf. The same exact thing. They have taken a class of player and crapped all over them.
Yeah.
And then we get the same kind of arguments. Well, Artie takes more skill. You got to be more nuanced and you use the right shell. Bullshit. The RNG's too much. None of those shells matter.
No.
I mean, yes.
So with a dispersion circle of that.
Like anything, if you're really good at it, you can still be a good artillery player. But you're not going to do as much damage as you did. The shells don't do as much. The burst isn't as much. RNG is still a thing. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's
Well, I tell you what, Pigs threw an outlier straight in there. Look.
that's what we needed, Pig, to get off this subject.
We did.
Yeah, we needed to get off this subject.
We did. I've never peed in Lake Superior, but I'll have a go if you want.
Is it more superior now, Pig?
Is it now?
Yeah, Pig is
10%. 10%. Wayne, you're close, but not close enough. You must have a massive bladder, Pig, if you've polluted 10% of the world's fresh water.
Well, what he's saying is they think it's quite potent.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. It's quite potent.
Geo, on a point that Geo made earlier on. Now, this is no, in any way, shape, or form, any stat-based feeling. I just get a feeling that there's less arty actually playing the game. Coming back to that, not trying to drag the.
Oh, I've seen that. Not at tier 6. Tier 6, there's as many as M44s
tier
as ever
6,
was.
absolutely.
Above tier 6, yeah, I would agree with that. I see many fewer, especially at tier 10 and 9 and 10. Many fewer artillery.
Yeah. No,
Many
that's interesting,
fewer.
isn't it?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it was a stat. It's just my feeling when I play. I think another one without an arty.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be 6 months before we see really how this all shakes out.
Okay. All right. Cool.
So, as I said in my video, and I think this is probably the truth. As overall, this was a customer losing event for them. Whether you think that's good in the long run for the game, for gameplay, for all that, maybe. I can't. I don't know. We'll find out on that one. But nope, we lost Pilgrim. Now he's back. No, he's not back.
I'm sorry, I clicked on the wrong bloody button.
No, he turned his camera off.
I'm trying to get my camera up. Hang on. Sorry.
But I think overall, it's a customer losing event for them.
Is it?
Yeah, 100%.
That bothered? Okay.
There we go. We got
Yeah,
you
there
back.
is a competition later, Clippy. As soon as Guido says.
Yeah, we'll stop beating this dead horse. But that's the bottom line for the changes. It is a customer. They have For whatever reason, they've decided to lose customers. They are going to lose the dedicated arty players that don't want to deal with it anymore. Maybe that's good. Maybe you're celebrating. That's fine. I got it. I don't like arty either. I'm with you. But the fact is, they're going to leave because you didn't give them anything. There was no bone for them. It was just pure FRD. Here's your new crap arty. You know.
Now, what percentage of the player base will do that is probably negligible, to be honest. You know, if the only thing you've ever done in World of Tanks is play arty, you might be the one that goes, right, sod that, I'm going. But if you dip into it like we all do, I don't think it'll just stop us playing arty so much. That's all. But I don't think a large percent will leave on the basis that arty's been messed about.
But that's a loss either way. That's what I'm saying.
Still a loss. Yeah, no.
And then you've got anyone who liked derping and HE, and that was their kind of primary mode of fun. You're going to lose them. Yeah. So overall, it's a player losing event.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
It is. Anyway, what's on the cap? What's your cap? What's your look? I've got the American baseball cap.
Oh, this is my 95th Fighter Squadron hat.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Bones. Home of Mr. Bones.
You see, now I had a choice. I was going to advertise the swoosh. I've got a swoosh, but I thought that's advertising on your channel.
That's China.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Nike is.
Chinese.
Nike is essentially from China at this point.
Okay, it's fine. Okay, this doesn't mean anything, guys. It's just like.
It's a good point, Cliffy. Are they really playing? No. They can go to the fair and do whack-a-mole, right? All right, we got a contest. What we got?
We got a contest. We got a competition for 500 gold, people. 500 gold. And because it's the Independence Day of the United States from the colonies of the United Kingdom, I thought I would base it on the Boston Harbor business, right? So it's a very, very easy question. Very easy question for 500 gold. Anybody can get it. Right. Are we ready? Have your fingers.
All right. It's an easy question. Here we go.
It's a single-ish answer that's required. So it's nice and easy. You don't have to... I mean, you can Google it if you want to, but you're going to have to be quick. So the first person to come in with, name the maker and the blend of the tea the Pilgrim drinks. Name the maker and the blend of the tea the Pilgrim drinks. For 500 gold. Tea. You know, the taxes you boys never paid.
Make sure to include how much fun it would be to dump Pilgrim's tea into the English Channel from a rocky beach.
So the maker and the blend of the tea.
Louisiana iced tea in bags. Yes.
Pig says my tea comes from Lake Superior.
Oh, that's a tea. That's a tea bag, Pig. That's a different thing.
Yeah, dump me into the English Channel. Save the tea. Why not?
Launch Pilgrim. We'll launch Pilgrim.
See, it just goes to show how much lack of notice they take a Pilgrim at the beginning of each of these.
I'm trying to think of what it is. Actually, I don't remember.
Bloody hell!
I know. It's it's the Queen's tea, right?
And I thought it was an easy question.
We thought we were. It's the Queen's tea, right?
Well, it is the Queen's tea, yeah, but it's got a particular name and it's made by a particular company. Look at you googling it.
I can't remember, man.
How he doesn't get up early enough to catch the start of the stream. Look at the answers. North Carolina sweet tea? I don't think so. Queen's something. Earl not early. Louisiana iced tea in bags. Flintstone. Earl Grey Black. Queen's Earl Lipton tea.
And where it's made?
Well, the manufacturer, the
Oh, okay. I think I got it now. I know what it is now.
Yeah.
Fairly.
At least Geo's trying.
That's a pretty well-known company, actually.
It is, yeah.
Oh, you might have a winner.
No, it's not that one.
What?
It's not Psy, and it's not British East India.
Oh, well then the internet is incorrect.
No. Well, it's telling you what tea Pilgrim drinks.
I thought you drank the same stuff that the Queen did.
As Her Majesty, yeah. Now, I mention this at the beginning of every stream, because you always say you've got this fine, dark, or medium roast, whatever, blah-diddy-blah, and I go, well, I've got blah-diddy-blah. The Queen drinks this. It was made for her. And
But
it's made by...
it's not Twinings Earl Grey.
Oh, no, they're cheap as chips, mate.
Yeah, but that's what it
Twinings.
says her favorite
Twinings.
is.
Well, you see, it's wrong.
That's what the internet says. The Queen drinks
Well,
Twinings Earl Grey with a splash of milk and no sugar.
No, she doesn't. You see, the Tinternet's wrong.
Wow.
Yeah. Pilgrim tells you the Tinternet's wrong. Don't forget I used to work for this company. There's a clue. I used to work for the company. And I've met her Madge with a cup of this particular tea.
Well, I don't know, man. That's crazy. I thought, well,
I thought it was an easy answer.
No.
All right.
give us a hint. Give him a hint.
Okay, I'll give you a hint, guys. Yeah, exactly. Look. Hey, Sasquatch, this is my Hawaiian shirt. You know, all that. Right, I'll give you a hint.
No dancing.
It was made by a company with the initials F and M, and the tea's called something. It's called Royal something. All right, how easy is that going to be? Tailors of Harrogate, behave just around midnight. Yeah, we can dress the part, Sasquatch. We can do the Hawaiian thing. It's like Hawaiian here because I got the windows shut. It's like 80 degrees outside Fahrenheit, and there's no air coming in here. I've got the door shut, so the house general doesn't have to listen to me.
Man, I don't know. I can't.
Mason Royal Blend. Meldef,
Maldive.
you've won again, my friend.
Oh
There
my
you go.
gosh! Finally, that's right.
Finally.
Now, how
That's the
come?
second week running Meldef won.
Hold on. I think.
Old phone.
Does the Queen drink?
Yes. Never mind Google. I've met her. I've met her, Madge, with a cup of this in her hand. And do you know what she said? Do you know what she said?
She said, "Since I know you drink this, I'm switching to Royal Blend."
That's exactly what she said. She said, "Ah, Pilgrim, I believe you drink the Royal Blend. Well, I shall be drinking the Royal Blend at the same time as Coffee Dog." That's the Queen's voice, by the way, just in case you didn't know.
That's. Yeah.
See? Knuckleballer. Couldn't copy and paste. He must have copied and pasted off somewhere.
Tell you what, the internet let us down on that one.
Didn't it just?
The
Order
internet
the
let us
Mason.
down.
Royal Blend. There you are. Well done, Melda.
All right.
Melda did.
Well,
What he did is he went back and watched one of these coffee talks.
That's right. I almost did that. I almost thought about going back and grabbing a coffee talk and listening to what you said at the beginning. I generally don't listen to you anyway, so.
We know this.
You Googled Pilgrim's Tea? Yeah, that's probably better. All right, guys. Appreciate everybody coming by. That is it for me. Any parting shots, Pilgrim?
No, well, happy Independence Day, guys, and I'm quite pleased that both Canada and the United States of America did gain independence because you're just too much of a liability for the United Kingdom.
Too much trouble.
Thank you very
Too
much.
much trouble.
Too much trouble.
Yeah.
But all the best, guys. Have a good day.
All right, that's it from the left side Atlantic.
And the correct side Atlantic.
See ya.